And welcome to this news hour. I'm Daniel Kasahun with the news. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project saw major breakthroughs over the concluding Ethiopian year of 2013. The functionality of the bottom outlets and the second phase filling of the dam reservoir are among the successes. Sayed Amrat has compiled the following story. The picture on air was a story about completing his Prime Minister's visit to Senegal. And he has arrived in Ghana, Accra, to discuss bilateral and continental issues with his Ghanaian counterpart. During his stay in Senegal, they have agreed to further build on the foundation and work together on African issues. And similar discussions are expected to be conducted in Accra too. And about the GIR project, the project saw major breakthroughs over the concluding Ethiopian year 2013, and the functionality of the bottom outlets and the second phase filling of the dam reservoir are among the successes. Sayed Amrat has compiled the following story. Let's take a look.
Ethiopia began the construction of its mega dam on the River Nile back in 2011. However, the construction reached a climax in this concluding Ethiopian year in terms of quality, safety, and functionality. In April this year, Ethiopian Water Irrigation and Energy Minister broke the news of the successful construction and testing of the bottom outlets to Ethiopians. Subsequently, the second filling of the dam would not have been a reality without this, according to the minister.
It is now at the stage of most reassuring stage on safety, quality, functionality of all ancillary structures. Recently, we have completed the construction and testing of what you call bottom outlets that assures continuous water flow to downstream. These bottom outlets will replace the overflow above the dam, similar to the culverts function as of last year. These two bottom outlets, which you see on the short video, were opened recently. One opened last Wednesday.
And in June 2021, the minister heralded another breakthrough to Ethiopians and friends of Ethiopia, the completion of the second filling of the dam's reservoir.
Today we have completed the second filling of GERD reservoir. It means we have accumulated adequate water for enabling second year completion of the water, as well as enabling the generation of energy using 2 turbines.
And all faces of Ethiopia were beaming with the news, and citizens from all walks of life were expressing their delight. Seleshi reaffirmed that the dam is an existential matter to Ethiopians, whereas it remains of high significance to downstream countries.
The downstream, especially in Sudan, power generation could be more efficient because this storage is regulated and can flow downstream when we operate the dam in future continuously. It will help them expand agriculture, make water availability reliable. The GERD reservoir will also support the downstream countries by drought management.
These same messages were reverberated in the speech by Prime Minister Abiy to members of the 547-seat Legislative Assembly.
እኛም በአባይ ተፋሰስ ከ60% በላይ ከኖርማል የውሃ መጠን በላይ ልናገኝ እንደምንችል ትንበያዎች ያሳያሉ። በዘንድሮ ዓመት የምንይዘው ውሃ አጠቃላይ ከግድቡ ውሃ ከ10% ያነሰ በዝናብና ውሃ ታችም እዚህም የተሻለ በመሆኑ ደግሞ ዘንድሮ መያዛችን ከኛ እኩል ለታችኛው ተፋሰስ ሀገራት ይጠቅማቸዋል።
And the country's senior water experts and scholars reacted on the mileage.
I was really very happy because this GERD for Ethiopians, we know what does mean. It means life for my children. It means life for my grandchildren who will be coming. And the same is true for all Ethiopians. Every farmer, every businessman, every military or security elements, whoever we say, Ethiopians, they have something in it. Being part of a citizen who has been contributing for GERD starting from its beginning, it was really making me very happy. And the whole time I was reading what's going on, when it is going to be declared, because the PM and from every office, we have been waiting for the official declaration.
Ethiopia takes the year 2020-21 as one of the successful years as far as the progress of the GERD is concerned.
You're watching Addis News Hour. The false allegations of Ethiopian National Defense Forces in the looting perpetrated by TPLF are part of a devious plan seeking to delegitimize the incumbent administration. Italian media journalist Francesca Roncin made this remark in an exclusive interview with ETV. She also says calling on the government and TPLF terrorists to come to negotiation table on equal footing is also another plan laid out to confuse the international community. Shfaroleka reports.
The Italian print and broadcast journalist Francesca Roncin has been following new developments unfolding in Ethiopia and trying to reveal the realities on the ground. She has written various articles on the current issues in Ethiopia as part of this move in the face of many false allegations Ethiopia is grappling with. One such issue is the defamation of the National Army by involving it in the looting which was committed by the TPLF terrorist groups. She says this is a part of a plan being made to delegitimize the incumbent.
As for the fact that many are accusing the National Defense Force in the recent lootings, I see it as a continuous attempt to delegitimize the Ethiopian administration. As I said, I think nobody could ever say that the National Defense Force is perfect or that they cannot commit mistakes. But in this case, the testimonies about the responsibilities of the TPLF seem overwhelming. Even the USAID mission director Sean John talked about lootings committed by the TPLF, and it is also one of the very first times where they refer to the TPLF rather than using other creative expressions in order not to pronounce that word.
The push being made by some countries and groups on Ethiopia to come to the negotiation table with the terrorist group TPLF, which has been ravaging and killing civilians in broad daylight, is also another conspiracy of confusion against the government.
Well, I think that also this is part of the propaganda that they keep going on, because this rhetoric seems aimed at confusing the public opinion and again empowering one side against the other. This confusion, I think, has been going on since the beginning because, for instance, Tigray is a region, right? Sometimes they talk about it as it was a sovereign state, which is not. And again, an ethnic secessionist war led by the TPLF against the multi-ethnic federal government has been narrated as if it was a defensive war against the ethnic cleansing operation committed by the government. So the role of victim and oppressor have constantly switched.
She has also lashed out at some NGOs which pay no attention to the crimes being perpetrated by the TPLF, clearly showing that they are double-standard agents.
Children were fighting along with the TPLF soldiers didn't capture the attention that other issues did, right? So I find incredible that no one single tweet or post in their social platform has been dedicated to this issue. I think really this is also very sad because NGOs should do an important job, right? Using this double standard can really weaken the trust that people have regarding these NGOs.
Francesca also says the voice of the majority of Ethiopians have been missing in most part of the media. While they are always ready to hear from experts and organizations overseas, very little is told about what Ethiopian people think and feel, being almost silenced.
The Brushalico Military Training Center has graduated troops for the 34th time in the presence of Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister Demeke Mekonnen and top military officials. Speaking on the inaugural ceremony, the Deputy Prime Minister said the way the people respond to government's call for safeguarding the sovereignty of the nation has been remarkable. Ethiopia is being protected by its brave sons and daughters, the Deputy Prime Minister said. The graduates, for their part, reiterated commitment to maintain the spirit of bravery and resilience to gallantly defend the nation from any potential threats. You're watching at this news hour. The Ethiopian diaspora community have been playing a significant role in promoting Ethiopia's national interests across the globe. The legendary reggae music artist Zeleke Gesese lauded the irreplaceable role made by the diaspora community to divert the ever-mounting external pressure against Ethiopia. Aula Teklemariam reports.
Zeleke's music, which unites the manly vision of one love and his own vision of universal peace, flows with many languages in each song. Combining Amharic with English and the patois of Jamaica, Zeleke's sound is as unique as his music and his background. Zeleke has continued to forge ahead with his own unique sound and message to the world. Talking to ETV English, Zeleke expressed his appreciation for the Ethiopian social diplomats for contributing a lot in diverting the mounting external pressure against Ethiopia.
We support Ethiopian government. And they have sent us what they would do to change the paradigm in the outside world. So that's important. Diaspora is doing great. Keep it up, my brothers and sisters, because we're out there, you know, in the system there. And we can make a difference. We can't just wait on the Ethiopian government to do the PR. We are the ambassadors, because right now we're being hammered by the media from outside, negative media on Ethiopia. It could be fake news, if it could be whatever.
Zeleke underscored the importance of strengthening such diplomatic efforts to maintain Ethiopia's national agenda at the international level.
They've just evolved the last year and a half. There are groups like APAC and 3 other groups. They're professionals, honestly. They know how to manage the US political situation. I've been saying it here on media, which they follow the last 7-8 months. They have to work with the congressmen and the senators, because there are 800,000 voters in the US. That's a big number for a presidential election, you know. For example, California have close to 800,000 Ethiopians in that one state. So they are a big voting power in the local election, like Congress, men, women, and senators. So what they have to do is contact that senator. I've said this before. Invite them to Ethiopian restaurant. Show them how we eat. Dorowat. Give them some gursha. You know, show them our culture. You know, that's unique. It's the only one in the world, and they get fascinated. So once they know that, then you go into telling our story. How Ethiopia should, especially with the U.S. That's where I lived most of my time there, and in Jamaica. But the U.S. part, the social cohesion. If you approach the politicians socially, it's always easier to deliver your message.
He further calls on the international community to retain their diplomatic ties with Ethiopia.
Where this challenging time will pass with our unity. Every time Ethiopia is tested, her people are united. Even in the diaspora, to the ones who are outside too, they're so united. So we have to keep our hope and then work together for a better Ethiopia. We can make it. The horizon is open. There is a lot of hope coming our way. The united we stand, we can make it happen.
Ethiopia, let's live in harmony. Smile Ethiopia, and celebrate diversity. Smile Ethiopia, shine bright for all to see. Smile Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, ሀገራችን መመኪያችን ኢትዮጵያ ሀገራችን መመኪያችን ኢትዮጵያ ሀገሬ የኔስ መመኪያ ኢትዮጵያ ሀገሬ የኔስ መመኪያ
Welcome back. Amid the war effort to stamp out the terrorist TPLF, the coronavirus pandemic is beginning to take its biggest toll across the nation. COVID-19 is showing a sharp rise, with the daily infection number already passing the 1,000 mark. During the ending Ethiopian year of 2013, the nation lost some renowned personalities due to the pandemic. Ethiopian Ministry of Health has warned that the Delta variant affects all ages, leading to serious illness. Let's have a look at the following story compiled by Kasaun Chani.
One of the great personalities Ethiopia lost due to COVID-19 was the renowned human rights activist Mesfin Woldemariam. The veteran, politician, activist and academic Mesfin Woldemariam died at the age of 90 in late September of the novel coronavirus-induced complications. The long-serving politician was peacefully struggling for the political and human rights of citizens, with intense devotion starting from the monarchical region. Dr. Tebebe Yemane Brhan, who was a world-renowned dermatologist, has served his country and the world at large in several care fields and health sector. Dr. Tebebe was a tireless advocate in a fight against neglected tropical diseases and diseases in Ethiopia. He regularly attended trachoma and river blindness program events and attracted significant high-level political attention to these causes. The laureate was also a goodwill ambassador for Guinea One Eradication Program in Ethiopia, Sudan, Chad and Mali. He also served his country in public diplomacy and national reconciliation sectors before dying of the coronavirus in February this year. Abebesh Gobana, another renowned philanthropist, died of coronavirus this year. She escaped a forced marriage as a child bride and became one of the most prominent humanitarians in her native Ethiopia, building orphanage, schools, a hospital for women and children, vocational training centers, and wells. She earned a reputation as the Mother Teresa of Africa, but died on July 4 at a hospital in a capital city of Addis Ababa, and her days was confirmed as was from COVID-19 pandemic. Founder of NEA Foundation, an indigenous George center for children with autism, Zemianos has passed away in connection with COVID-19-induced health complications. Zemianos was attending coronavirus treatment for weeks in an intensive care and showing some pictures showing her fight with the virus via social media, and many were optimistic about her recovery. Ethiopia also this year mourned the days of Mesfin Getachew, famous playwright and film producer. Mesfin 50 died from COVID-19 complications after receiving treatment at Eka Kotabe Hospital in Addis Ababa. The artist's untimely death shocked his fans and a big loss to his family and to Ethiopia's drama industry. Mesfin was an iconic figure in the film and drama industry. He was the author of Yekan Kinyet, serious radio play and Solaso TV drama, which won the admiration of the Ethiopian public. The prevalence of the COVID-19 pandemic in Ethiopia has been alarmingly increasing in the year, Health Minister Leah Tadessa disclosed.
As you know, in the past few weeks, the COVID-19 pandemic has been the cases have been rising in our country nationally. Totally, since the inception of the pandemic, around 313,000 cases have been identified through our testing.
Health Minister Dr. Leah Tadessa urged the general public today to take all the proper cautions. There are indications of COVID-19 situation is increasing from time to time in Ethiopia.
So this is a serious concern for us as a country, which requires really more concerted efforts and revitalization of our COVID prevention measures at all levels.
Indicating that the key to curbing the spread of the pandemic is in the hands of the public. She recommended reduction of meetings, keeping physical distance, proper hand washing, and vaccination as well.
The body of renowned Ethiopian singer Alamayo Shete laid to rest at the Holy Trinity Cathedral on Tuesday. Families, fans, and government officials paid tribute, putting a wreath at a grand farewell ceremony organized at Meskel Square earlier in the morning. Legendary singer, 80, died in hospital in Addis Ababa due to a sudden heart attack on Friday. Many, including President Sahle Zode and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, paid tributes. Emerging in the 1960s, Alamayo became an iconic figure on the Ethio jazz scene, and he performed right up until his last year. Let's review economy in business. During the fast expiring Ethiopian year of 2013, the Ethiopian economy exhibited remarkable performance. The economy remained resilient and maintained a stable and promising path despite multiple shocks. These shocks include the coronavirus pandemic, the global slowdown, the locust invasion, and the war in the northern part of Ethiopia. That's according to the government. Despite the economic slowdown in this concluding year, the Ethiopian government remains adamant that a sizable economic growth is within reach, as it predicted 6.6% growth in 2020-21. However, the government's ambitious economic plan and the untapped natural resources of the country are considered a good opportunity to curb these challenges and scale up Ethiopia's economic growth for the coming new year. Jerusalem Bezaha goes through the major events in the macroeconomy of Africa's second most populous nation in the year 2013. Let's take a look.
Ethiopia has unveiled its 10-year economic development plan under the theme Ethiopia, an African beacon of prosperity. The new plan envisages the continuation of the rapid economic growth that has already been registered over the last decade and a half. Accordingly, in the new plan, the economic envisages an average annual economic growth of 10.2%, while the per capita income is expected to increase by 8.2% each year to reach $2,220 by 2030. Bringing quality-based economic growth and increasing production and competitiveness, as well as building a green and climate-resilient economy, are some of the salient features of the plan.
Historically, we had this notion of talking about just one sector, agricultural-led economic growth or manufacturing sector-led, as if there is just one sector that can drive the whole economic growth. But this time around, as you've seen, we have expanded Ethiopia's source of growth, looked at new sources of growth like tourism, mining, the digital economy. So what this does is it gives you a huge opportunity to expand Ethiopia's economic growth.
Since December 2019, people from all walks of life have been affected by the COVID-19 crisis worldwide. Neither was the Ethiopian economy immune from the pandemic. However, as COVID-19 had affected on Ethiopia's domestic economy, the government has prioritized helping the economy rebound.
Because of the policy measures that we've taken, because of the sensible decision that we've taken, we've managed to shield off the Ethiopian economy from the worst that could have happened.
However, an optimistic economist says with those drawbacks, Ethiopian economy is growing well by many economic standards.
The Ethiopian economy has been doing very well, frankly, by any standards. Financial Times is normally a conservative newspaper on finance, but it has said that Ethiopia has taken the prime spot in global development in terms of gross domestic product between 2010 and 2020.
The galloping inflation was another steadfast obstacle facing Ethiopia's economy. However, the government said the country has registered remarkable achievement in stabilizing microeconomic challenges except inflation, improving productive capacity and giving priority on supply resolutions are among the interventions the government has applied as a solution to address inflation in the country.
When we say enhancing our productive capacity, focusing on supply solution is really the critical solution. We mean business here. So what we do in that regard would significantly help us reduce the rate of inflation. But of course, the market structure also had significant problems that we need to address, that we need to correct.
On the other hand, an economist argues that the government's involvement in the market is critical to avert the existing inflation in the country.
So what is the solution for that? It's not a question of increasing the supply simply by production, but by doing proper intervention in the marketing system.
In June 2018, Ethiopia has announced to open up major state-owned enterprises for private and foreign investors. During this fast-concluding Ethiopian year of 2013, the nation's major telecom operator was also given a chance to release an expression of interest for the sale of a 40% stake in Ethio Telecom. The other sector's privatization process is on the way with a transparent and credible manner.
Overall, on the logistics sector and in the energy sphere and in railway, the reforms that we've embarked on are really going with speed, clarity and precision.
Demis also urged Ethiopia's privatization need clear policy and strategy, and it should be led by Ethiopian private sector.
We need foreign investors, but in a very carefully studied areas. Okay? Even in those areas, we have to think for a long time how Ethiopians can come and take a lead. Okay? In those areas.
Konstantinos also argues that privatization, particularly financial liberalization, is needed to transform Ethiopia's economy.
Liberalization has been kept as like selling the country. We have to be connected to the international financial system.
However, the minister stressed that economic independence is critical to resist an external power. Hence, Ethiopians should be managed Ethiopia's economic base by themselves.
The outsiders, the Westerners, rather are trying to kill us. I can use this term, killing us, okay, in all aspects. It is only when we are strong in our economic base, led by Ethiopians, that we can fight and that we can stand them. If you are dependent on them, you will die eventually.
During the new year of 2014, ensuring stability, encouraging economic activity, private sector development, job creation, set the institutions and capacity for sustainable growth.
Story: China wants to expand the sale of African agriculture products across its e-commerce platforms, according to a senior Chinese Foreign Ministry official. Wu Ping, Director General of the Ministry's Department of African Affairs, said at a launch ceremony of African Products Online Promoting Season that China has never pursued trade surplus with Africa. He said the online promotion will help African products, particularly agricultural ones, gain more market shares in China. To coincide with the new China-Africa Cooperation Forum to be held in Senegal at the end of 2021, China will encourage e-commerce, particularly live streaming platforms, to promote the export of agricultural products from the continent to China, according to a government statement. Trade volume between China and Africa reached 139.1 billion in the first 7 months of the year, in which the imports from Africa were 59.3 billion, according to China's Ministry of Commerce. Just to remind you the headlines. The GERD project says major breakthroughs over the concluding Ethiopian year.